What's up YouTube, this is DWSDARIUS and today we are in the fish room. This is going to be my fish room update. Now the last time I did a fish room update was at the beginning of the year and it is now 4 months later and really a lot has changed. My fish room is just always evolving. There's always something new to show. So I'm going to show you guys what's going on as of today. So first off, before I get started with the tanks, I would just like to thank all of my subscribers. I really appreciate all the support that you guys show. Whenever I have a question, I go to you guys and I know I can get an answer. Whenever I need support, I go to you guys and I know that you're always there to support me. So I just want to thank you all, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this fish room. So let's get started. Okay, so for those of you who have been following my channel for a while now, you know that one of the main tanks of this fish room is out the picture, and that is my 125 gallon African Cichlid tank. Previously they were in this tank up here, and now they are gone. Now I said before that I wanted to provide some upgrades in the fish room as far as each tank individually, and that's what I did for my African Cichlids. I gave them a nice, well, a small upgrade, but it still looks a lot better. So if we take a look back here, we have my 125 gallon African Cichlid tank with 3D background from Universal Rocks. I try to give it just a natural scape, and really I'm loving it. From the colors of the fish that they're showing off and just the naturalness of the scape, I really think it looks awesome, a lot better than it looked before. Now one of the things I did notice when I did the swap was that this tank looks smaller than the other 125. They both are 125 gallon tanks, but this 3D background makes it look a bit more smaller. So initially when I was planning to move, I was going to plan to add a few more fish. However, because this tank looks smaller, I'm going to keep all the fish as they are, if not take some out. But as of now, this is how it looks, and as I said, I'm loving it. The fish are settling pretty nicely. It's been like this now, and they've been in this new tank for maybe close to a month now, so they're pretty used to it now. A few fish, as far as the hierarchy, that got changed up. So the Jewel Cichlid, she's one of the fish that's struggling to adjust because she just fell dramatically in the hierarchy. Other than that, the hierarchy is pretty much the same way as it was before. Still a little aggression, and I'm loving it. So yeah, this is the 125 gallon African Cichlid tank, hosting Mabona, Haps, and Peacocks. Fish from Lake Tanganyika, Lake Victoria, and mostly Lake Malawi, and a school of 6 clown loaches, one of which is the biggest fish in this tank, that big guy right there. So yeah, that's a look at the 125 African Cichlid tank. Okay, so after the African Cichlid tank, we have my 55 gallon Planet tank. Now this is one of my favorite tanks. Now I'm pretty sure you heard me say that about probably all of my tanks, but I really like this one a lot because of it's just so easy to take care of. It's so rewarding because it's so beautiful, and at the same time it's one of the easiest tanks that I have, low maintenance, and it always looks great. Now as far as the plants in this tank, before I was planning on trying to organize it, keeping plants just more organization, certain plants over here, certain plants over there. Now I just made up my mind to let the plants do their thing, to let them go wild, and they're really going wild. So I'll start off over here to the left. We have just a big Amazon sword. Some of the leaves on this plant is over 16 inches, so that one is really growing a lot. To the right we have a smaller Amazon sword back there. Probably can't see it too well, but it's another one back there. The plant that's just taken over completely is this Crypspiralis. I started with about 3 heads initially when I started this tank. You can check older videos just to see what a difference it is now, but it's just sending runners every week. All in the front right here is Crypspiralis, Crypspiralis, Crypspiralis. That's all you see, and I like it. It has a nice twist to it, so it fills a lot of the aquarium. And it's just an awesome plant. I love the above view of it. You can't see too well because of the light, but from above it just looks amazing. And one of the downsides about this plant is that it does cast a big shadow, which is killing off my carpet, so all of my dwarf side just dying away. I really have just a little bit left, but I really don't mind because this upper portion looks better to me. So that's pretty much it as far as plants. I have Jungle Val that's struggling because a few months ago I ran out of CO2, and it was a while before I replaced it, and in that little period a lot of the Jungle Val died off. However, in that period the Crypspiralis kept growing, which is why it's taking over, and the Jungle Val is dying away. Other than that, I have a few pieces of Anubias. Another crypt right here, I forgot the name of it. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the main plants in this tank. Now as far as the fish of this tank, as I said before, I want to limit the species of the tank. So right now I have maybe about 10 different species of fish. I want to limit that to 3, being a school of Harlequin rasbora, a school of roseline sharks, and my 2 Siamese algae eaters. And that's all I want as fish. I can imagine that it will look beautiful with all this greenery. So I'm just going to wait and let all the plants do what they do and just wait for me to get my fish right. And I got a feeling that this tank is just going to continue to be one of my favorites. Now if we look to the right, we have my 75-gallon Butterkoferi Talapia tank. Like, you just spit out some nasty stuff. But this is one of my favorite fish. This is the wet pet of my aquarium. He just loves my attention. Whenever I'm in front of him, he comes to look me dead in the face, and he's just a really active fish. Now I have some plans for this fish. I may be trying to add him to the 210-gallon American Cichlid tank upstairs. But in change, I'll have to take out some of the fish from up there and bring them down here. But yeah, I want to see if I can add him up there. He did have a history of being very aggressive, so I'll just wait and see how that plays out. One of the things that this fish just loves to eat is these San Francisco tubelix worms. I'll show you guys a little sample of how crazy he goes for it, but he just loves these things. You see it, he's right at the top. He sees it, but he's not too comfortable with the camera. But you see he has it. He just loves these things. I give it to him as a treat. Try not to give it to him too much because it'll make him refuse his stable diet. But this is just a nice once-a-week treat. Oh yeah, this is the true wet pet of the fish room. Okay, so directly below the tilapia tank, we have this 20-gallon guppy tank. And as you can see, the numbers are fewer, and that's because one of my males, that black velvet, went on a killing spree and decided to kill the rest of the males. Well, the majority of the rest of the males. The only one that survived was this guy. So I'm left with 2 males and 5 females. But other than that, they're still producing fry. You can see there's a little one right there swimming around, and I find new fry all the time. That's one of the more mature fry that grew up a bit more. But eventually, when a pond gets warmer outside, not the main pond, this little side pond with plants that I'm growing out, eventually when the temperature is warm enough, I'm going to throw these guys in there and see how much they produce. Now another thing that I'm doing with this tank is, if you look under here, and he just left, but I'm going to have some bristlenose plecos, and I'm going to try to breed those to have a regular brown male, and I have an albino female. So I'm going to see what I can do with those. Okay, so if we move over to this tank, this is my 55, and I really don't know what to label this tank as. I used to call it the parrot tank. Now I'm calling it the gourami tank, so I'm just going to name it the potential tank, and that's pretty much what it is. It has a lot of fish with potential. I just don't know which ones I want to be the main stars of this tank. I added these gouramis as dither fish, and they've really become the stars. Just awesome fish, very active, very fun to watch. Another fish that I recently added was this salvini, and I'm really loving him. He has a lot of character. I was thinking maybe I would let this salvini be like the big dog of the tank, and these gouramis be like the second dog, or whatever you want to call it, the second star of the tank. I don't know, you know, I still have my parrots, which for some reason have chose to be just fearful fish. For no reason, they just decided to be punks, so all they do is hide all day. So pretty soon I might trade those guys, or just give them away and let this salvini and gouramis take over the tank. I don't know, I'm just gonna fill it out and see what I should do. Okay, so next we have the 55-gallon green terror tank, and the green terrors were in the same tank as the parrot cichlids when they just randomly became just punks, and so that same shyness affected these fish, so they're just extremely timid. So I added this school of giant dana, which helped a little bit. It helped the male because he was looking terrible. He produced a lot more color. Since I added these, right now they're hiding because I don't know why they're hiding. Usually they're out in the day a little bit more than how they are now. But they have produced a spawn, so that's good news. That was the plan for these green terrors, for me to breed them. And they have, now she's gonna go crazy and run because, as I said, they were in the same tank as the parrots, so that same shiftiness is all over them. But you can see on that rock it's just a ton of eggs, and you know when the eggs hatch, the parents will have live fish to defend, and with those fish to defend, a lot of times it will bring boldness out of the parents. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that this batch is successful and that it can just bring boldness into this pair, and I can have a nice active pair. But yeah, this is the 55-gallon green terror tank. Okay, so directly above the green terror tank we have my latest setup, which is my 125-gallon South American tank. I refish in this tank with the exception of that that pink Kisagurami is from South America. Pretty soon I'm going to take him out so you can be with the rest of the gouramis. I'm just waiting for them to get a little bit larger. But yeah, every other fish is from South America. You can see I have the driftwood and the rocks. I try my best to imitate the Amazon River. You know I am off because in the Amazon they have a lot darker water. Now I didn't want to lose my crystal clear water, so I'm going to just leave it as it is. So yeah, this is my South American tank. As far as fish, I guess the main fish that you notice is that school of lamprey tetra, one of my favorite, because I've always wanted to have a tank where I can have a combo of big fish and tiny fish, and this is the first time I'm able to have it successfully because these geophagus are just such mild fish, really not too aggressive. They leave these little guys alone, and I just love it because it looks so awesome to see the small schools along with the big fish. It was really one of my aquarium goals and I finally reached it. So after that I have my angelfish. Right there is the big guy who is in a planet tank. I also have two others, one of which is right here. I'm not too positive about their names, but I have one right there, and I have a third back there in the corner on top. Most of the time they are together, however for some reason they're separated for the video. After that I have my silver dollars. I have two spotted and two striped. Silver dollars are just awesome fish, very cool to watch. And then I have one of my favorite, my whiptail catfish. I just love the camouflage of this fish. I can invite people into the fish room and try to see if they can find it. They can never find it, and he's always right there in their face. I just love just how he blends in with everything. So really an awesome fish to watch. He's not too active, but he's still pretty cool. And then lastly I have the geophagus. Now I'm not too 100% about their names. I do know their names as far as in my mind, but I really can't pronounce them. So this is the tank boss, Geophagus alfrens. I will leave their names on the screen so you can see them. But this is the tank boss. I have two of these, and him. And I'm guessing that they're both males because this guy is just always harassing the smaller one. You can see at the back of his tail he has a few nips. So I'm guessing I have two males of that species. Then next I have this guy right here. Very beautiful. I started off with two, and I guess I had two males again, and he killed the other one. But he's really nice, a beautiful fish. And then I have this one redhead tobago. And lastly I have three of these, where are they? Red humps. Let's move that one right there is a male. Let me bring you guys a closer look. This right here is a pair, a male and a female. And as I said, you can find, oh, she's actually holding, which I just discovered in this video. It looks like she's holding eggs in her mouth because these are mouth brooders. And I noticed that the male was trying to breed with her the other day, and it looks like she is holding, which I just discovered, so that's awesome. And lastly I have that one guy right there. I'll leave his name too. He's really small, not too much color, but he has a lot of potential. So yeah, this is a look at the 125-gallon South American tank. Now this update was pretty small, but pretty soon I'm going to give you guys a better update, more details, but that's everything for now. Okay YouTube, so the last tank of the fish room is my 40-gallon Reef tank, and this is probably the most amazing tank in the fish room. I just love everything from the fish to the coral. It's just so beautiful, so entertaining, and just really a great experience. The only thing I don't like about this Reef is the price. But you know, they say with great beauty comes great price, I guess. But yeah, this has just been a great experience. I love the growth of the corals and just the overall development of this tank. Now, the most significant growth was from these yellow polyps. I started off with 5 heads, and you can see I have roughly 50. So yeah, I started off with that little polyp and I put it on this rock, and you can see it just took over that rock. And now every now and then I take a shell or some rock and I put it in the middle. The polyps attach, and then I move it where I want to. So I have some growing over there, and then I have more growing over here. So that's what I learned about the reef tank. If you want your corals to just thrive, you move them around your tank, you find where they just show the best color, the best size, and you leave them there. This devil's hand leather coral, I bought it and now it's 3 times larger. So that's doing good. This frog spawn right now is not too expanded, but when it is fully expanded, it's about 3 times longer than when I first bought it. I also have some hammers, 2 hammers over there. I have my Duncan coral. I bought it with 1 head. It has about 8 heads now. My trumpet corals, some green star polyps, my Aiken. Right there I have a little frag of neon green toadstool. I have, what else? Right there is colt coral. And I wanted to get some anemones, but I was just too afraid of them being blown around the tank, sting my other corals. I really didn't want to risk that, especially me being just pretty new. I've only been keeping this reef for 1 year. For some of you that's a long time, but for me, I see that pretty much as still new to the reef keeping situation. So I didn't want to have to lose everything that I took so long to grow up just because I wanted to have a bubble tip anemone. So instead I got an anemone that was a bit more mild, and that is the rock flower anemone, which is pretty awesome. I have 2 of them, this yellow one and down near a greenish one. I'm not sure how well this camera is going to do with the only blues, but when I have the only blues on, you can see they really shine just beautifully. So I have those, and that's pretty much it. When it comes to fish, my clownfish are still looking awesome. They're trying to host some red mushrooms that I have in the back of the tank back there. My 6-line wrasse, you see him shooting across. He's been looking awesome, still doing his thing. Right here is the new fish, the venomous forktail blending that I added the other day. He's still not eating yet, but he's active. I also added a stoplight, a red stoplight cardinal. However, he's been hiding ever since I added him. I'm not sure if the 6-line wrasse is harassing him. He's just not showing himself. I'm not sure what's up with him. I saw him a couple of days ago hiding, and ever since then I just can't find him. I'm not sure if he's dead or alive. I put these screens up here because I'm tired of fish jumping out. I've had this tank for a year now, and I've probably had maybe 5 fish jump out, and that's just too many fish when you only have about 5 fish in stock. But yeah, that's pretty much all the fish I have. I think that's all the fish. Yeah, that's all the fish I have. And for inverts, I told you before that all of my shrimp were killed off, and I finally found a possible suspect, and that was my, what's the name of it? My pistol shrimp. That was the only shrimp that didn't die. He's living under this rock. Let me turn his lights back on. But he's living under that rock, so I'm guessing he came out, he assassinated my other shrimp, and he just did his thing. So ever since then I replaced my 2 skunk cleaner shrimp. These 2 are not as friendly as my other ones, but they still are nice. They really don't harass the corals as much as the other ones. And as far as my hermit crabs, they're still looking awesome. This is still the biggest one of them all. This one is hand trained. Whenever I stick my hand, he comes right to me. Right there I have a red scarlet red leg hermit crab, and just a nice blend of those. So as I said before, this is one of my most amazing tanks down here. I just love the activity of this tank. I can watch everything in this tank. I can watch the fish, I can watch the corals, I can watch the inverts. So this is just a very entertaining tank. Okay YouTube, so this is the final stop on a tank tour, and this is my largest aquarium, the 210-gallon American cichlid tank, with a few other fish. So first, I guess I'll just introduce some of the fish for those of you who are just seeing this tank for the first time. So the oldest fish in this tank, no, he's really not the oldest, this is the oldest. My female jaguar cichlid, now about 8 inches, just a beast fish. Really awesome fish. I had her now for 4 going on 5 years. Chocolate cichlid as well. I think I'm not sure which one I got first, the chocolate or the jaguar, but they're both around the same age, around the same size, both females, and both have a lot of history in this tank. So two very cool fish. I'm not sure if, let me see, perfect timing, a nice beautiful yarn. But yeah, after that I have my albino tiger Oscar, and this is just a beautiful fish. Now a lot of people tell me they want me to get rid of this Oscar because he's just so common. You can find Oscars anywhere. They like when I keep just rare unique fish. However, this Oscar can't go because he's just awesome, beautiful, and that personality is just uncomparable in the fish world. So that's just awesome. After that I have this school of 3 10-foot barbs, and these are just growing in this large tank. They've all put on at least 1 inch, and they're just very active. You can see that previously that you saw the red devil just chased them, but really not too much aggression towards these guys. They really make the tank a lot more active. They're always going back and forth, and because of that back and forth motion, it causes these other fish to move around too. Now sometimes that does cause problems because it causes these other fish to cross territories and problems with that, but I still like the activity of the tank. After that I have this beast. His nuchal hump is just getting out of control, and I love it all. He's just a beautiful fish. I really didn't even plan on getting a stud like this. I was looking for red devil females, and I ended up with this beautiful male Midas. The Oscar just took the attention, but he's definitely one of my favorite fish, and he's definitely holding his spot in his tank. After that I have his female, which has really betrayed him because she has decided to pair up with my male red devil. And look at this, a tag team match. But those two have paired up. Now I originally wanted her to pair up with the male so I could get some beautiful Midas fry. However, she hates him because she has her new man on her side, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Now I was thinking earlier in the video, you heard me say I was going to bring my tilapia up, and maybe I would add these two downstairs. Now I can't add, look, she's about to go attack them, but I can't add the two Midas because the male is pretty much probably just going to kill the female. But I can add these two, the male red devil and the female Midas, because they're already paired up. Now they will produce hybrids, some mid devils, and that's really not recommended in a hobby, especially when I have the chance to raise pure breed. However, because they're not really clicking together, I'm going to maybe put those two in a 75 and just see where it goes from there. And then I'm pretty sure all of you have noticed the newest addition, this little guy who's been growing up downstairs for a year now. This is my 8-inch Giardini arowana. Truly a beautiful fish, but at the same time very stubborn when it comes to feeding. He only eats crickets and feeders, so he's really stubborn. He refuses every pellet, and that's why he's so small. When I had my arowana, my silver arowana, he grew in 1 year 16 inches. This guy is 1 year and 8 inches, so definitely a lot slower, but he's very cool. Another thing I've noticed is that this guy is very aggressive. I had him with my Geophagus and he killed 3 of them. So hopefully with these more aggressive fish, it can be more managed. He can be more, he can keep that aggression to himself because he has other fish that's willing to fight back. But I'll just see as it goes. Hopefully I could get this guy to eat some healthy pellets, but so far he has a beautiful color and he's just awesome fish. So that's a look at the 210 gallon American cichlid tank, and that has been a look at all my tanks. So I think that will be a wrap, but maybe I should show you guys the pond. Now it is dark, so I'll take a flashlight and just give you a little look at that. Eventually I will produce more pond videos, but let me just show you what's going on as of now. Okay YouTube, so right now we are at the pond and it is about 8 o'clock, so it's pretty dark, but that's the advantage of having crystal clear water. You could just bring out a flashlight and take a look at everything that's going on. So right there is the biggest koi in the pond. He's about 2 feet long. One day I got to get in there and measure him. I'm guessing he's about 2 feet long. Right here is my favorite. It's just such a beautiful coloration. That's a female. It's just, this is where the true big boys are at. Most of the koi in this pond are very big. They grow very quick, and it's just awesome to keep. You know, as I said before, I will be doing more videos about this pond, feeding videos, maintenance videos, and just bringing this pond more involved in my YouTube channel. But that will be a wrap. So once again, thank you all for watching the video. Make sure if you like this video to like it. Make sure if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe because more is coming. So that will be all. And I guess I'll end it with a nice sky shot. Too bad there's no moon out. But that will be all.